Last season was one of the best seasons our program's had. I mean, finishing with a 22-6 record and only losing to ranked opponents and beating a number of ranked opponents, being undefeated in the region and the teams that we played and undefeated at home. I mean, it was a pretty close to perfect season last year. And so that is, a huge bar that we set. And now the expectation is that we're going to climb over it. And so how do we do that against a tougher schedule and having the stamina and the mindset and the competitive spirit set by set, match by match, opponent after opponent will be a real challenge for us. And I think it's one we're up for. We have a really experienced veteran group returning of a large number of seniors and juniors who really have spent a lot of time training in our program and are starting the season and preseason in a really solid place. And our sophomore class that got some experience last year is really coming on strong as well. And we've brought in 3 new players that are, really good ball control players and really positive, have fit in extremely well. So we're in the best place that we've probably ever started a preseason in. And it's just a matter of going out there and competing and staying focused and really working hard to fight through whatever, challenges come our way. Our strength is really our returning group. Being so close to reaching all of our goals last season and not quite getting there. And so I think there's an urgency that wasn't quite there last year, certainly not when we started the season. So I think that's going to be a strength for us. I think the players will be more focused when it's really close and really tight and the game is on the line, to really have the confidence to finish strong. I think overall we're very balanced in our attack, in our serving, in our lineup, in our rotations. We're not relying all on 1 or 2 players. We really have very strong, talented players across the rotation. And as we shift between 2 setters and shifts between 2 middles and outsides and pin attackers, I think we have a really strong foundation through our lineup. So I think it's going to be hard to find a rotation that we're really going to get stuck in. I think we'll be able to get ourselves out of runs more easily than we have in the past. And I think just the overall level of confidence and trust that our players have developed will really help us this year. We've put together the toughest schedule this program has ever had, maybe one of the toughest schedules in the country, because our region is so strong. And last year we played a number of really strong teams in the region, and this year we've probably tripled the number of opponents that were considered for regional ranking last year. And part of that is because we were really successful last year, and good teams, want to play good teams. And so we got a lot more interest this year from some opponents we haven't played before to connect on our schedule. And so there's not really a good break in the schedule, match to match and weekend to weekend. And we've added a really strong tournament right before UAAs. And so I think that's going to really prepare us well for the real national level competition that we face just right out of the gate in the round robin. So I really think our schedule is going to help us. It's also going to challenge us emotionally and mentally, that, we're going to be really stretched pretty much every time we step on the court. And we have the ability to compete with every team, but it's, going to take some doing to win all those really tough matches. So we love to host, and we get to host every other year. And it's nice to host the first round robin because it also encompasses the banquet with all 8 teams. And so it's a great way for our players to connect more intimately with other players on other teams and kind of get to know them and sit around a table and eat and have conversation with other players. They get to know them a lot better. And so that's kind of a fun aspect of the first round robin. We also play 3 matches in our own gym on our home court. And so I think we're, a lot stronger playing in an environment that is warm and friendly and supportive. So I think it benefits us, but all the competition is so strong that sometimes, neutral courts for other teams are completely fine and don't necessarily give them a disadvantage. But I think it's great to start off the UAA season at home with, all our fans in Horsburgh supporting us, and then to have the additional piece of really being able to host all the other teams in a different way, I think is really nice for our program to be able to do. We have our whole staff returning, which is fantastic. Nelson Whitmire's been with the program for 30 years, and Jeff Harris been with the program for 2 decades, and Kim's now been with the program for a decade and moving into a new role, an expanded role, because she has done a lot for the program in a previously part-time paid position. So it's nice already to kind of have her to bounce ideas off of during the day when she's around, and it's just easier to kind of administratively manage the program with somebody else by my side. So I think, we'll continue to explore how her role develops and is enhanced, but it's a huge benefit to our program and our players to have another full-time person involved in the program and in the building on a regular basis. And then our last member, Bailey Hagedorn, who graduated in 2021, is still back with us. And so it's nice to have, an alum still really invested and involved in the program too. So our staff is probably the most consistent staff in Division III and probably most sports. We've been together for a long time, and so it's really nice to have a group of people around you that you trust, that are positive, that care about the program in the way that need to be invested in a high-level UAA program. So I'm very, very fortunate that we continue to have consistency in our staff.